being a person of color, it's like a lot of times you have to be strong like all the time. And even though I'm biracial, I think that's a lot of the reason why I've always embraced my black side more than I have my white side. You know, I was at a restaurant a couple days ago, and I was with a female friend of mine, and there was a black couple who walked in, like, you know, and sat two tables across from us, and you know, they sat down, and I'm looking over at the restaurant staff, and they acknowledged that the couple was there, but you know, I mean, they were looking over at them and stuff, so obviously they knew that they were there, but you know, it's like nobody came over to wait on them for like a half an hour. And I'm sitting there thinking, I'm like, you know, that's happened to me a lot of times too. And it's like a lot, it more or less depends on who I'm with. It depends, you know, if I'm with my mom, you know, who's white, usually we get good service, you know, and the waiter will smile and bring us what we need. But you know, there's been times when I've been with, you know, friends who were, you know, non-white, and it's like the service is a lot worse. You know, and you know, it's just like I'm just sitting there thinking, you know, and I didn't say anything. I didn't say anything to my person I was with, because it's like I don't always want to make everything about race, and I don't like to sit here and think that every bad thing happens in life because of race. But you know, I've gone through stuff like that too. You know, I've been in a restaurant and the service was shitty, and it's like, I know it's not always because of race, but I feel like a lot of times it is. You know, and it's just it's things like that that happen when you're a colored person that make you, you know, develop this mindset of keeping you at the bottom. And it's like I and when I see all the crime happening in the black community, and all the violence, and all the incarcerations, and all this stuff, it's like it's just like I can understand why it does happen. It's like when somebody's depressed, regardless of what race they are, it's so much easier to just stay at the bottom. I mean, you don't want to get up, you don't want to do this, you don't want to do that, but it's so much easier just to stay there. It's so easier to stay there because you just don't care. You just don't care, and you know, you lose motivation, and it's like it's so easy to do that as a person of color. I mean, it just happens all the time. And I mean, I believe that's why we have the things going on in our nation, our world in general, that we do. You know, and you know, it's like our world is the whole system just favors Caucasian people. It just does. I mean, that's just the way it is. I mean, anybody who's real will admit that our whole system favors white people. And it's like I've had a lot of black friends who have just said, you know, I want this and I want that, and it's like it's like I know they can do it. And there's a lot of black people out there who are doing good and going to college and educating themselves and all that, and it's just like, but it's so much easier for a person who's black to not accomplish all that. And a lot of times it's not because we don't want to, it's just because of that mindset that is so easy to obtain, that negative mindset. And it's like that negative mindset is caused by just the way society runs. I mean, it just is. I mean, society just does not favor a person of color. It just doesn't, man. And it's just like, it bothers me a lot, because a lot of times I felt the squeeze too, man. I just have. I mean, I've just felt it, and it's just like, it's like I don't expect a lot of people to understand, because if you've never experienced the life of a person of color, then I don't think it'd be easy for you to understand. I mean, you know how a lot of people will say, you know, oh, well, black people need to get up and do this and do that and do that. But I mean, look, we have a lot who try. You know, but it's so much easier to just lay down and just say fuck it. And we have a lot that do that.